What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another Final Fantasy 7 Ever Crisis video. Alright guys, we're about, 4 days away from Yuffie dropping. Brand new character, brand new chapter, hopefully with a couple other things coming along the pipeline. But we do have the brand new January campaign schedule, so this will help you guys kind of determine what you want to spend your stamina on and where you want to go if you are done the events. Obviously, you've done your co-op. So this is what's going to be happening in the month of January. So Materia Boost campaign is going down. This one is big for me personally. It's actually happening right now. So as of today, 3 hours ago, this would have started. So the great success rate of material enhancement will increase by 20%. So for those who are looking to use their materials wisely to enhance them, this is the time to do it. And the amount of rewards obtained in synthesis quests will be increased by 20%. Now, this is a big one because I've been synthesizing like crazy and I'm running out of material. So for those who are in the same boat as me, this is now the time to go ahead and start farming those materials from the event. But of course, there is a scheduled event happening right now with Yuffie and the New Year's event, so the Wily Hunter. So some people are going to be still focusing on that as well. And right now, stamina is becoming a little bit of an issue for free-to-play players like myself. I just don't have enough of it. I save for a couple days and I just go all in. And none of my characters, like most of my characters, are still not 65. I've got maybe 4 characters at 65, and the rest are still like 57. Well, one's at 31, but majority of them are like 50 plus. So stamina is becoming a little bit of an issue again. They originally had, thrown stamina in our direction every way possible, and now it's becoming more of a pressing matter to keep up, which is one of the reasons why they introduced the stamina pack, of course, right? They're just trying to upsell something that they clearly know is a problem and a lot of people will complain about. So that's happening right now, and that's going to the 14th. Now, on the 14th, the Weapon Enhancement Boost campaign is coming out, which gives you better success rate on the weapon enhancement portion. So if you're done with materia and you're looking to enhance your weapons, that's something that's going to be happening. You get a 20% chance to increase that, and the amount of rewards will drop by 30% in the enhancement quest. One thing I want to point out, and I know this with a lot of people here, once in a while I get a video that I put out and people notice the amount of gil I have, right? And I'm going to go to my gil right now real quick while I'm talking. Where is that? Enhancement. If I go to weapons, we get the material as well. But I got 2.6 million gil. And a lot of people talk about this, and it kills me because they're like, how do you have so much gil? Well, for me, it's like, how do you not have so much gil? So I think the problem is, I think too many people are focusing on leveling every single weapon up. And that might be part of the problem, right? You kind of need to understand what weapons serve what purpose in your lineup and for your team. And that will drastically reduce the amount of gil you're using and cause, less of a strain on your account. Gil is not easy to come by once you have little of it. Like, look at this. I've only got it starts here, and then look at all my level 1s. Like, I have a lot of level 1s, guys. Like, a lot. And I plan to keep them that way for quite some time until I'm ready to commit to any reason of having an R ability or a main weapon from this. But look at this. Majority of my account is level 1, and if you look at it, I've only got a very few amount of level 70 pluses, right? Even less level 80s. Maybe actually most level 80s, and just a few level 90s. So it's one of those things where you have to understand that you don't need to level up everything. There's not going to be a time and place where you're going to be like, oh my god, I wish I leveled this weapon because I did it in the past. I promise you guys, for the most part, you probably have an equivalent weapon out there that you did level that gives you the same look and feel. I know some people are collectors and it's kind of your mindset to do it, but your gil problems are being created because you're not focusing on what you want to enhance, and you're just doing it all. And usually when I mention that in my comments, most people get like, yeah, I in fact do this. So avoid doing that. That will probably save you a lot of strenuous gil farming, which majority of my gil farming happens in my co-op modes or in my solo leveling modes where I just farm everything all night. Pretty much it, right? And gold just comes through that. Of course, dungeons make a big difference. They give you quite a bit, but you can only do those once, and then the big amount of gold or gil is gone, right? So keep that in mind. All right, so weapon enhancement happening on the 14th, and that goes on till the 21st. 21st, character growth boost campaign. Now, this is what I'm also waiting for to continue using my characters. Now, for those who are going to be getting Yuffie, let's be real. Most of you guys are going to get her to 65 as soon as you possibly can because you've been waiting for her, and that's fine. For those who don't care about Yuffie, if she's just an extra, unit added into the game for you, well, this is the time to level her up from the 21st to the 28th of January. character EXP gain will be increased by 20% in the training quest, and the amount of rewards will be dropped also by 20%. And that also applies to Gil, by the way, so keep that in mind. And then lastly, from the 28th to the 4th of February, we're going to have rare drop rates increase in Chocobo expeditions by 20%, and the amount of player experience also gained in weapon enhancement quests and character growth quests will be increased by 20%. So 2 opportunities to come back in here and get more of this. So these things are important. The reason why the schedule comes out is because they're trying to be transparent with their roadmaps, so you guys understand when to use your stamina. Now, let's talk about a few problems in this game right now that a lot of people have that are facing. So number one, I've said this numerous times in many videos. This game is going to be this game for going forward. The order of operations is fairly simple, right? A banner comes out, right, for 1 or 2 characters, sometimes even more banners come out, and then an event will come out with that banner. So as we see here, the event is the New Year's event. After this event is over, a dungeon, or while this event is going on, a dungeon ranking usually pops in every month. So you guys can see the pattern here. So it's banner, event, dungeon ranking, and then there's a crash that comes afterwards, right? In this case, the crash we know is going to be Sephiroth because that was part of the calendar. So it's a Sephiroth rerun crash. And then they'll introduce a chapter, and then they'll throw in here and there like a character story or a brand new character, which is very, very rare. And then they'll do something out of the blue and increase, battle towers, add an extra summon, which again are 2 very rare things. And the more common, of course, every month is a brand new Crisis dungeon that gets introduced where you can farm blue crystals, Crisis medals, etc., and get yourself a copy of a Buster Sword. But that's it. I don't think I've missed anything. I'm pretty sure I've caught it all. Like the story modes include extra chapters, etc. But guys, that's it. And for a lot of people, this game gets very stale very fast. But I've been saying this from day one. Like, you kind of know what you're going into as soon as you log in. Like, after you play a month, it's pretty much the ebb and flow going forward, right? And to a lot of folks, this is becoming a problem because it's getting kind of stale and boring. And I get it, guys. Like, I kind of agree with you guys. Once in a while, there's a big lull in Final Fantasy land. But you have to remember that this is not a console game. This is a... So I think a lot of people forget the constructs of a gacha. It's meant to mimic real life. It's meant to make it mundane and exciting once in a while. And that excitement usually gets you going, and you'll forget about the everyday struggle of a gacha, which is doing your dailies. And that's the end of the day. What you do, you log in, do your dailies. Once the events are all done, you farm your co-ops, you use your stamina, and you log off. Pretty much the same thing as you wake up. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, put your clothes on, go to work, come back home, have dinner, go to sleep. It's meant to mimic real life. And I've said this about gachas, and this is why they get people, right? Because people feel like they have a little bit more control in a gacha environment than their whole life. So that's why they spend so much in gachas sometimes, because they feel like I can be better here or there, or just sometimes, I mean, it's not that psychological for some people. Some people just want to spend because they just want to spend. And that's the reality of it. But if you are looking for something more, I can promise you guys, you're not going to get more from this game for a little bit of time, because this is essentially how the release pattern is going to be going forward for quite some time, unless they introduce something groundbreaking and brand new. So I personally like this style of game because it's structured, just like my life. It gives me clarity of what I want to do, where I want to go, what I want to summon on. There's no mysteries, and when there is a fun little surprise, it gets me excited. This is the kind of game that gets me excited because I don't need to be playing it all day long, right? There's other games that will shower you with so much content, and you're like, I don't have time for this. So Final Fantasy is not made for the hardcore gamers, in my opinion. Final Fantasy 7 Ever Crisis is made for the average gamer who has a normal, consistent lifestyle and cannot spend their whole life playing a gacha game. And I applaud the game for it, but I totally understand where people are coming from when it comes down to it being a little boring sometimes. It is, in fact, just that. It can be actually boring. So to me, guys, as an average gamer and as a content creator, this is perfect. It's the content creator part, I have to actually admit, it's not perfect. There's a lot of holes in content creating for Final Fantasy Ever Crisis, because I feel like once you've covered all the topics, it's just newsworthy at that point, right? Anything news related that comes out that's big will make a splash. But if you look at any content creators videos, they're probably match very similar to mine, or I have similar to theirs, etc. Right? So as a content creator, it is a little restricting, but as an everyday player, it's a breath of fresh air not to have to focus all my time on one game, and I can that way branch out and focus on other things as well too in life. So anyways, I want to give you guys a schedule, my perspective. I know for those who are bored, this is the game. It is what it is. Either you like it or you don't. You continue playing it. I think it's easy to play. You take 5 minutes of your day, do dailies, do a couple of your stamina runs, and you're done. I think that's beautiful. I think it's a thing of beauty to see that, and for some that's just not enough, and I get it. I totally understand for those more hardcore gamer type that this is just not enough for you. Rebirth comes out in literally a month and 22 days, so that's gonna be big, obviously, for a console player. But if you're trying to get your Final Fantasy VII fixed, this is it, unless you go back and play Remake for a little while or the original game. Anyways, this is Payne. So I want to bring this topic up because it's something that a lot of people have been discussing lately with me, and I just want to air it out there with my own thoughts and feelings behind it. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.